Let's look into this washer fluid thing. So if you have the hood cracked just a bit even, the wiper arm on the passenger side will scrape on the hood. Okay, I don't know that this car has service position for the wipers, say on like a 2015 Jetta. I know those have it because it clears when the hood is closed. Okay, but if it's cracked open, you will scrape your paint for this one, not the other one. It's a good idea to have a maintainer on the car when you're doing something like this if you're cycling the washer fluid, but it's probably going to get in your way, so just make sure you have a charged battery if you're attempting to troubleshoot this. So the first thing you want to do is to visually inspect the 4 portholes. And what you guys saw in part 1, the type of failures that this car has right now is not a clogged in that way like a piece of sand or something, but usually just a closed hairpin, a small closed hairpin, a needle, something like that. I don't know what the technical term is, but you just poke it in there very gently with a nice touch and you can clear them. Now, the washer fluid nozzles, you may be looking for them. That's that right there in the hood, those 2 bumps, okay? There's the other bump there in the center of your screen. So that's what you're going to look at. I can't remember if it's easier to look at it with the hood open or closed, but you will be able to see if it physically has a piece of sand or something in there. Now I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and we'll see how it is behaving, okay? And some of you might have noticed that my lighting has been a bit worse recently. Some of the LEDs in my garage roof mount lights are starting to die out. And I mean, I got to replace them at some point, so that's what's going on there. Okay, so forgive some of that weird staticky sound. The radio was on for some reason. I couldn't turn it off. Now, even though the hood's open, and that tray there, the plastic tray that it's leaking on, these cars are designed for stuff to leak there, okay? Even with your hood closed, don't think I'm doing something crazy. This is completely fine to test it like this. But my feel is that the washer fluid nozzles have magically started working again. So I'm going to close the hood now, and we're going to check it like that because that's the only way we're going to know. But it feels like it has good pressure. Although before we do that, do you know why they might be working? It's because this line that goes into the hood, see at the right center of your screen, one of the nozzles, this might have been slightly pinched, which is why it's working in this position, or it needed to release this. So it's possible when we close it, it might give low pressure again because this line here is kinked. I'm not a big fan of this going in the hood business of the washer fluid stuff, but this is the design, so we got to deal with it. Let's see what happens when we close the hood now. Okay guys, I think I found the beginning of the problem. Look at how wet it is in this corner here. Watch, I'm gonna spray it the way that I was looking at it now. You guys will see what's happening when the hood is closed. Again, don't mind the static, that's just from the radio, some BS. See that little puddle right there on the side? It's stealing fluid from the actual nozzles. So we gotta find out what's going on. And just to clarify, I earlier was saying that maybe the line is, that the nozzles were working perfectly fine. The nozzles were making about the same sound, and the track of the fluid to the windshield when the hood was open was far shorter, so they were probably performing the same. I just thought it was spray overrun in that driver's side corner of the windshield. When it really was not spray overrun, it was probably leaking even when the hood was open. So I checked, there is a bolt on the top right corner of the hood that could be pinching your line, but my line sat nicely around that. Now, the other slight issue I have with this car, because as you guys know, we always find minor things that have been repaired in this car by the past, God knows, owners or shops. There is some electrical tape around that wiring bundle and the washer fluid flexible hose. So this could be a one-off for my car, but it also does seem like it could be a problem point on any of these B7 cars. So let's look into this further. And what helps in diagnosing stuff like this on dry ground in a garage, see, that's natural rundown from the water paths of the car. But coming along here, say if I would have tested this earlier, well, actually, I mean, I'm testing it now, but you're seeing that there is a stream of washer fluid here, which should not be. I mean, most cars do have sunroof drains that drain into the driver fender well, but this is far too much from a small amount of washer fluid to be on the floor like this running. So if this were, yeah, okay, I'll stop talking there. Let's see what's going on. So the camera and the lighting, everything's trash. I'm zooming into this corner with some lighting, hopefully. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of water coming out from this line. The way it curls around, I'm going to have to remove the plastic cowling, but there is no visible crack in any angle that I can see here. And my car is probably even missing a piece here, but I don't know. Sorry about the focus. Let me remove this plastic cowling piece and that small piece that's in the corner there, and we'll get a better look as to where it's cracked or leaking from. Okay guys, so that piece there I've shown before. It's a weather stripping, the battery tray cover, and that plastic piece just slides right out. Now, that piece there behind my hood stick with the yellow towel has 3 T25 or T30s that I have to remove to get that cover off, because that's going to give me just enough access there to really poke my head in there and see where the crack is on the line. But I'm pretty sure it's a crack on the line. I was mistaken. So again, I can't film this really because I have to hold the hood up with my head with this stupid setup I have. Okay, so there is there's more bolts at the back there. That cover, just go all around, get all the bolts. Now I could use a vice grip trick on the hood strut that doesn't work, because right now I have to hold it up with my head on the felt. So I'm not going to film it, but T25 or T30, whatever it is, I'm going to take all those off and remove that cover, and then I'll be back with you guys. So there's one of the bolts. The one deep down in the bottom, you're going to need a shorter T30 or just use your spanner T30 setup, because what's on the left will not fit in that area. Well, it's German car land. Even that doesn't fit. So I do have to use the T30 spanner setup that we use all throughout all the Audi series. So this setup worked. And I actually didn't need to do anything. I'm able to reach all the bolts, and I'll be able to slide out the cover with my 2x4 setup, so that's fine. The point of that statement being I did not have to hold the hood with my head. The 2x4 thing has still been getting me by. Okay, after doing this, I'm going to give you guys a point not to possibly damage your paint if your ratchet moves a bit. So either use the spanner on the left for everything, which is the best choice, or use the longer one on the other ones, because your ratchet handle will come just close enough to your fender that you will possibly hit it and chip your paint, okay? These kind of things happen in tight areas like that. But yeah, take what you will. 4 screws are out. Let's get the cap off. Okay, so I did not pull that cover. It seems like it goes way under that cowl and you need to remove more stuff. I haven't looked on the forums to see what's under there, an ECU or some kind of modular. I just popped it up, cracked it open from the front, and there's some module and some wiring I saw, so this is not a cap I even really want to touch or take off. Okay, old car, old seals. There might be bolts still hidden. You might even have to remove the wiper arm, but I'm not going to get into something I don't know, okay, and I don't need to remove it. The better thing to do here, okay, because I can see that full hose from the side, okay, and I pulled off some of the janky tape that some people had put on there before, okay, and now that I have a bit more access here, I'm just gonna get a helper to spray and we're gonna look and see if what's going on here. But my camera is so crap that it won't focus, so I'm just gonna look where it's shooting out from, and we'll see if we have to remove more stuff here or if we can figure this out from here. Most of you won't have it, but another easy way to do this test is with the smoke machine. From some point, I don't know, from the washer fluid bottle, but no, that's probably a headache too. So I don't know, be creative with that if you do have a smoke machine and no one to help you, but with a helper it's easy to figure out. Maybe. We'll see. So before continuing to run your test, make sure to put these bolts back. I made sure it was sealed down, but it's an idiot move because you do not want to get water in that fuse box. But this is a bit of washer fluid and it did not go past the seal. Don't do what I did. Now here's where it gets interesting, okay? So I have a helper that kept helping me. Now if I can do this, I'll put it on the tripod. No, I'll figure something out, but it technically needs 3 people. But what it took to find where the crack and the leak is, hood open, okay? Hood open, it is working correctly, all right? The washer fluid nozzles, again, I can feel that the spray is good and there is no leak in the corner that we are talking about, okay? That corner right there. That corner only shows itself as you start to close the hood. And I found the crack. You'll see where it is. So there's a crack in that flimsy accordion style hose that sends the washer fluid through. So let's see if I can. Okay, so I've got my shoulder on the hood to support it there. Now, okay, the lighting is crap, but if the fluid shoots out, you guys will see it. So see, okay, helper, spray. Okay, you see there's nothing coming from here. Now as the helper continues, all of a sudden, there you go. You see it? Open it up, nothing. Keep going, helper. You see it? There it is. Once it goes down, the crack opens up. That's what happens. Okay, please stop. Thank you. All right, let me get those bolts back in. And that piece of hose is probably not really repairable, but because it's on a flex, so JB Weld would probably break too if we put anything on there. So I'm probably going to have to figure out how to put an entire new line on there. When I saw the accordion split, the split in that accordion hose, before I called the helper to help me with the footage, you can test that if you have a leak in that area by yourself, okay? You literally leave the door open like that. You reach in through the gap, not the window, okay? The gap between the A-pillar and the top of the door there. And you reach through the steering wheel, and in that way, you can access the stock, and you can close the hood halfway by yourself and see if there's a crack in that accordion. Because that section seems very suspect for a lot of you, okay? If you have such an issue, because it's a sharp curve that piece of hose takes. Now, what are my next steps possibly going to be? The most correct step would be to get a whole new hose and route it all the way from the washer fluid bottle or wherever it is to that place and take off everything on the hood and a whole bunch of stuff. I'll probably have to take that module cover, whatever it is over there, fully off, which means more cowls and possibly wiper arms, and I don't want to get into that. So I might, because it's kind of like a wire loom thing that goes like a heat shrink, I might just put a heat shrink on that, okay? And that'll probably be more than enough to deal with washer fluid. And I am definitely putting these bolts back. I do not want any water getting inside of that casing. And any work I do in this area will be with the cover on and very careful application of low heat to possibly put some kind of heat shrink material on it. But as I said, just wait for the next part of the series. Okay, and just because I don't want to be the grim person for this platform, because these are actually excellent cars, there's nothing wrong with the radio. See, it's on right now. I just paused it. I pushed a button. It was working now, and everything is fine. Okay, the car is not making that hum staticky sound. Radio, speakers, everything on this car works as it did day one. And there's a lot more functionality with that Pioneer screen. And I can't believe I haven't made a video on that. We'll probably talk about that in a future video. But, you know, this stuff is annoying to film in a garage. So I'll try not to be annoying, but just keep watching. Thank you. Gotta love it. Just finished waxing the car. And then you get washer fluid all over it because of this stupid nozzle thing within 5 minutes. So I don't think washer fluid is very detergenty. Maybe it is. But welcome to the wonders of owning old cars. But that's enough for tonight. Stay tuned for the series and what I end up doing with this. Thanks for watching.